Iron Supporting Food Banks collects food and cash donations for needy families in Newham Borough and beyond. Please consider making a donation via their Just Giving page, the link for which you will find in the description section of this stream. Come on, you Irons!
West Ham are massive, everywhere we go. West Ham are massive, everywhere we go. Everywhere we go. West Ham are massive, everywhere we go. West Ham are massive, everywhere we go. Everywhere we go.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the West Ham Massive. If you are new around here, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and click the bell notification. And either way, please don't forget to drop a thumbs up on this stream. These things help the channel out tremendously. And they take a couple of seconds of your time and don't cost a copper coin. What's not to like, ladies and gentlemen? Anyway, we're obviously here for the match preview of the game that takes place. As I record this is a recording, so this isn't live as I normally do it. It's something slightly different, but I'll add this is something that regulars to the channel will know, my little presentation that I sort of have running in the background. So that will be something that you can have a look at and get some information off of that. Keep an eye out also for the ticker at the bottom, which will display various bits of information such as that. Please do excuse my voice as well. I've had a rotten, stinking cold this week. There you go. There's a lot of it going about. So anyway, so we head to the Etihad tomorrow. A lot of bad weather that's going to be in the area. So if any of you guys that are watching this are making the journey up to the Etihad, safe travels to you, and hopefully you get there and you get to watch a good contest. I mean, look, the game last week against Liverpool, 5-0 humiliation. Hopefully you guys that make the journey get to see something better. You probably won't see a different outcome, but hopefully you see something a little bit more fighting spirit and endeavour to sort of like make you feel a little bit better for making the journey there and back. Anyway, so my thoughts on Manchester City. Let's get them out of the gate. And as I go along, guys, please do feel free to get your comments in as we go along on different topics. So my thoughts on the opposition. Manchester City, look, 4 times in a row they won the Premier League. They've done what no other team in English top flight football going back to 1888 had ever done. They'd won 4 consecutive league titles. Absolutely sensational. In and amongst those 4 league titles, I think it was 2 seasons ago, or whatever it was, they won the European Cup as well. Absolutely fantastic achievement. Great team, great coach, great setup. Obviously, it's all done by money. We all know that. That's not sort of like anything that we're not sort of akin to. But yeah, they're obviously a very successful club. This season, though, it's gone a little bit wrong. It was going quite well. Until but of all teams, it was Tottenham that tripped them up. And it was in the EFL Cup, the League Cup of all competitions, was where the rot set in. They got beat 2-1 at Tottenham. And you thought, okay, League Cup, whatever, shrug your shoulders, get on with it. There's bigger fish to fry. They then come round to the Premier League the following week. They're playing Bournemouth, and you think, okay, it's away. It could be a bit awkward. But they should sort of, no, they got turned over there. Oh, okay, that's fine. Well, look, wipe your mouth, get on with it. They then got smashed by Sporting Lisbon 4-1, and the run then continued, losing games. It was quite uncommon. And they, of course, just as it's getting sort of like turning into view, they get a win against Leicester. Ha! Isn't that typical? The gift that keeps on giving. So they've got their win. Excuse me. They've got their win, just as we've got off the back of a humping against Liverpool. Fantastic. Brilliant. They're a fantastic team, and I think they're probably on the slide. I think they're probably getting a little bit old, and they haven't sort of like refreshed the team adequately, and it's probably all catching up with them now in one fell swoop. That, and also the fact that when you've won 4 Premier League titles on the spin, there's going to be at some point, it's an inevitability that there's going to be a little bit of a a changing of the guard sort of thing in terms of the natural order of things. They couldn't win 5 in a row, could they? Everybody was saying at the beginning of the season, and it looks like they probably won't. But yeah, a fantastic team, fantastic squad, fantastic setup. But I just think that for them, it's probably going a little bit stale. Some squad news. So as far as Manchester City concerned, some injury news. They've got some players out. Rodri, Oscar Bob, Ruben Diaz, John Stones, all going to be out. And Matthias Nunes and Ederson are doubts. Now, Ederson obviously would be a huge, huge loss for them. And would be a bit of a boost for us, it has to be said. But as far as we're concerned, we've got Michail Antonio, Jarrod Bowen, who are both out injured. Michail Antonio for the long term, Jarrod Bowen possibly 6 weeks to 2 months, whatever. Lucas Fabianski. Now, there's a bit of disagreement about whether he is eligible to play against City or not. My information is that he's not eligible. My information is, and it seems to have been confirmed by Julian Lopetegui in his latest press conference, that Lucas Fabianski, because he sustained the concussion injury which prompted his concussion substitution in the game away to Southampton, he has to remain away from Premier League duty for 10 days. That was less than between when the game took place and the Manchester City game. That is within that 10-day time frame. So therefore, that being the case, he's not going to be available. I have heard some people that have said something slightly different, but my information is that it will not be Lucas Fabianski between the sticks. He cannot be considered. Probably we'll get to 2 o'clock or whatever time the teams are announced, and there'll probably be Lucas Fabianski, and I'll look like a complete twat. Anyway. Opposition's key player, listen, even though I say they've got a bit stale and all the rest of it, let's be completely honest, they've got key players all over the pitch. Bernardo Silva is a player I've always admired. Kevin De Bruyne is a player I've always admired. I think that if I probably had to put my neck on the chopping block, even though he's getting on a bit and he's picking up a few injuries, I'm probably going to go with De Bruyne. I think he just makes the team tick. I think that he sees passes and can execute passes as well as seeing the passes other players can't see that are on. He can execute them as well. And I think that he's the key player. I think if he's there to load the gun for Erling Haaland, who, compared to what he's been used to doing, he's having a little bit of a lean spell, but he's still capable of finishing teams off. But if I had to say which opposition key player is the one that I think we're going to need to shackle, it's like, take your pick. But if it's only one, let's go Kevin De Bruyne. Which West Ham player will be the key to a positive result? Well, I don't know really. It's probably not. It's probably not going to be Guido Rodriguez, is it? But anyway, in my opinion, it depends. Obviously, Bowen's out. He's normally the one that you would say would be key to a positive result. I'm probably going to say Mohamed Kudus. Probably the emphasis falls on him to show what he's all about. Now, obviously, the injury to Bowen, as much of a hindrance that is to the team, as much as a problem that is to Jarrod Bowen himself, it does present an opportunity to Mohamed Kudus. He's obviously been played on the left for a lot of it. A lot of people have been said that that's not his position. That's not where you see the best of him. Are they right? Are they wrong? Well, now he's got an opportunity. Is he going to be played on the right, or could he be played through the middle? My team, my 11, the 11 that I would like to see tomorrow, is going to come up on the next slide. And I'd like your opinions on what you think my team looks like. It probably won't be the team that Julian Lopetegui will select. I'll get that out there straight from the get-go. The slide that you're about to see will have my 11, not the team that Julian Lopetegui will select. But I'll get into that. I'll try and explain my thinking about what the reasons are for the players that I've selected. And there's a little bit of a bigger picture there as well when you see it. So the West Ham player that I think is key to a positive result from the team that I have selected anyway, which, like I say, may or may not be what Julian Lopetegui selects, is going to be Mohamed Kudus. Now, I would select Mohamed Kudus as the central player. I would have him as the striker. Now, as I say, I don't suspect that this will be the team that plays, but as I say, I'm going to try and explain it. So I would put Areola in goal, very simply because my understanding is that Fabianski can't be eligible for this game because of the concussion rules. So therefore, it has to be Alphonse Areola. My back four, and you've probably seen it, there's a little bit of a curveball. Right back would be Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He has to play. Whether you play him at right back or whether you play him at left back, I don't think it really matters. I think he has to be in there for the attributes he brings to the table. No problem at all. Now, Jean-Claire Todibo, in my opinion, hasn't exactly set the world alight. I think that for all the reputation, for all the hype, for all the reputation that he had when he turned up, I don't think he's delivered. Now, there could be a number of reasons why. It might not all be the player. It might be that it's partly to do with the utilisation. It could be partly to do with the fact that he's had a Barney with the gaffer. Whatever. Max Kilman. Now, I thought he was doing really well. Do you know what? I'm starting to look at his performances a little bit more critically now. And I am wondering whether he's maybe, as Adrian Durham would say on TalkSport, is he all that? Have a look at his performances. I think he's a very good footballer, but I think what's dawning on me is that perhaps he's actually not as good a defender. He's probably not as robust and as tough as he needs to be in certain situations, one-on-one with an opposite number. Is he really sort of like up to a £40 million price tag? I don't know. I'm starting to have a few little alarm bells ringing, and I don't know about you. Again, if these are points that resonate with you, you've got a comment section, get stuck in. But my curveball in the back four, you've probably seen him there at left back, Oliver Scarles. Yes, I've been very, very disappointed with the performances of Emerson. I don't think that in the previous outing, I don't think that Vladimir Coufal did enough as well. Obviously, Vladimir Coufal played on the right and Wan-Bissaka was shifted across to the left, and Emerson played a little bit further forwards. I don't think he had a clue what he was doing, to be quite honest with you. Now, I know that Oliver Scarles, when he was involved in the game against Brighton, he came on, 15 minutes to go, something like that. And I know that there was a few times when he looked a little bit like he wasn't quite sure what was going on. But bear in mind, he's stepping off of the bench. He's a young player, etc., etc. I wonder what would happen if he started. Only one way we're going to find out. And let's be honest, this is a bit of a free hit for the kid. Because in all honesty, nobody expects us to go to the Etihad and win. Let's be completely honest about it. Nobody does. I'm pretty sure if you ask Julian Lopetegui, David Sullivan, Tim Stuyton, and probably everybody that's watching this stream, and even me myself, in our heart of hearts, do we actually honestly have an expectation that we are going to turn up at the Etihad and take a dump in their centre circle? I don't think we do. So this is a free hit. There's no pressure on this fixture. I'm not for 1 minute saying, well, just put all the kids in. No, that's not what I'm saying. But this is an opportunity to maybe plonk one youth team player into the 11 and say, do you know what? You've got the start here. You've got the shirt. Go out there. There's no pressure on you. None. Because nobody expects us to do anything. Just go out there and play your game. And let's see what happens. Maybe you can grab this opportunity. Because the guy that's been playing in your position this season, which is obviously Emerson Palmieri, hasn't really been up to the mark. So if you can step in and you can make a name for yourself, maybe I keep you in for the game against Villa. And maybe you get in beyond that point. And maybe this is the beginning of your career as a West Ham regular starting left back. Let's see. Stick him in. Stick him in. We've all been clamouring for it. Not necessarily Ollie Scarles himself, but we've all been clamouring for the academy players to be utilised in some way, shape or form. Stick him in. Put him in. Then just in front. Now, the midfield's the one that I was really wrestling with. I could have made a case for a number of people. I could have also made a counter-argument to put all of them on the bench. In the end, I've had to make a decision. Now, my central three, I've gone for Edson Alvarez, but he would be detailed to be purely a defensive shield and not go wandering off and lose his discipline and cost the team. He would be under very strict instructions. You are a defensive midfielder. Do your job. And that's it. You win the ball and then you move the ball on quickly, further up the pitch to players that can hurt the opposition. That's your job. That's all you do. Thomas Souček, he will be interceptions, tackles, headed clearances, and then getting forward into the opposition box on the very limited occasions we've got the ball. And it will be limited. We'll probably be very lucky to see about 30% of the ball, I reckon. Conservative estimate. Away at Man.City, I think we're probably going to be very lucky to see 30% of the ball. So it's really important that we're strong, we're resolute, and we're organised when we're out of possession. But when we've got possession, we've got to make sure that we break with pace. That's where the front three comes in, but I'll come to them in a moment. So my third member of the midfield trio, and you've seen him there, again, it's a little bit of a curveball, Andy Irving. Again, this is a player that in pre-season played a few games, scored a few goals, and put in a couple of decent performances. And people started to go, oh, okay. And we've not really seen him. We've seen little snip shots here, there. Not really sort of like seen too much of him, though, in truth. But that game against Liverpool last week, he came on, in my opinion, in 15 minutes, or whatever he was on the pitch for. I'm sure he was on 15 minutes. He did more than Lucas Paquetá had done. I'm telling you now, the cross that he put in onto Mohamed Kudus's head, that he got the header to and it just clipped the bar. Beautiful delivery. Absolutely beautiful delivery. Get him in. Give him an opportunity. How do you know whether he's any good or not? How do you know if he's up to the Premier League standard or not if you're not going to play him in the Premier League? Let's see what he's all about. And if he flunks, if he doesn't take his opportunity, that's on him. But give him the opportunity. Let's see if he sinks or swims, right? So that would be my midfield three. And as I say, Thomas Souček would be getting forwards, helping out, getting on the end of set pieces, but also helping out Edson Alvarez in a defensive standpoint. But the critical element here is that when we have possession in those limited occasions, we need to get the ball forwards to the front three. Left, Crysencio Somerville. Right, Luis Guilherme. And centrally, Mohamed Kudus. Now, I do understand why people look at Crysencio Somerville and they say that there is a touch of Said Benrahma about him. In that, he flattered to deceive a little bit. And I kind of get it. But I do like him. I do like his bravery. I do like the fact that he takes players on. He'll carry the ball up the pitch at pace. I do, however, think that this is where the Benrahma parallel lies. That more often than not, his final decision is usually incorrect on balance. Usually. But I would get him in. Pace on the left-hand side. Directness. Will get the opposition right back, which will probably be Rico Lewis, I suspect. Get him, keep him honest. And if you've got someone with that pace to burn, it might just stop them from pushing up the pitch if they was against someone with maybe a little bit less pace. So just keeps them honest, you know what I mean? On the right-hand side, now, Luis Guilherme, again, came on, barely had any time against Liverpool. And, my God, he's rapid, isn't he? First time I've really seen him. Wow, he could catch pigeons, that boy. He really could. And he let a shot go. And I tell you what, if it wasn't for that touch from Virgil van Dijk, he very likely could have scored against Liverpool. And it was only that intervention from Van Dijk that prevented it. He looked dangerous. in a very brief cameo, he showed more fight than a lot of the players that had played on that pitch for 90 minutes had shown. Pitiful, a lot of them. And Mohamed Kudus, him through the middle. Now, again, okay, Mo, you've been saying for a while that on the left is not your position of choice. You've been saying that you want to play elsewhere, whether that's on the right, whether that's central. Okay, now's your opportunity. And not only are you playing centrally, you are the main man. You are the spearhead of our attack. And you three, Somerville, Kudus, Guilherme, you're the pace merchants that are going to ensure that when we win possession, we can get the ball from back to front at pace and test the goalkeeper, who may or may not be Edison. It may well be Stefan Ortega. But I hope that those three have been doing a lot of shooting drills in the time since the Liverpool game, or whoever the front three is. I hope they've been doing shooting drills, because we're going to need to make sure, if we've got any hope of getting anything, we need to make sure that in those limited occasions when we've got the ball, we're taking shots. We're creating chances effectively when we've got. It's no good if we get possession of the ball, we take it up the pitch, and we get robbed, and we come back the other way, and we don't see the ball again for another 5 minutes. Absolutely no use whatsoever. So it's really important that when we've got the ball and we go from back to front and we do it with pace, and they're all over the place in the transition, it's really, really important that we get the shots away early, we test the goalkeeper, and who knows? Who knows? Maybe that's going to be the difference between success and failure. Or even maybe, I mean, let's be honest, success for us would probably be not getting a hiding. Probably, in all honesty, excuse me. Thank you. Probably success for us, let's be honest, is probably if we went there and we lost 2-1, but we had a battling performance. Let's be completely honest. I think most West Ham fans would go, didn't see that coming. I mean, all right, fair play. We didn't get anything, but we didn't get a shoeing at least. Maybe we could even, who knows? Who knows? I mean, they've lost, like I say, they've been on a bit of a losing run. And I mean, you know, they've drawn against Palace. They've lost against Tottenham twice. They've lost against Brighton again. Okay. You know, are we significantly worse than Brighton? Well, actually, maybe we are. maybe that's a rhetorical question. I don't know. But seriously, I think that team could do something. Now, you might have a different 11, and that's fine, no problem. And if you do have a different 11, get it in the comments section. So let's come to the important bit now, the score prediction. Now, I'm not going to try and paint this any other way than it is. I believe we get beat tomorrow. I believe it's very likely, almost certain, that we will get beat fairly comfortably. But I hope, as I say, I come back to the beginning, and if anybody that's watching this is making that journey up to the Etihad, for you guys especially, who very well may be making your journey in quite difficult conditions and have taken a lot of time and money and effort to make that journey north and back, I hope you see something more than I saw at the London Stadium last week, because what I saw was pitiful. And the away fans, the manager and the players do not want to lose the away fans. Home fans, something different. If you lose the away fans as your sort of like your core element, if you alienate them, you've got a problem. So the players need to go out there. They need to do this. They need to bring this home. And the other thing, I probably should have mentioned this when I had my team up. You may have noticed it anyway. Obviously, the armband. Be interesting to see what the manager does. I mean, officially, the vice captain is Aaron Cresswell. I think that it's incredibly unlikely Aaron Cresswell will be on the pitch. Might be on the bench, but that's about it. I hope to God, if Julen Lopetegui picks Lucas Paquetá, I hope he doesn't give him the captain's armband, because he had the captain's armband after Jarrod Bowen came off with the injury. So I'd be really annoyed if he gave the captain's armband to Lucas Paquetá. I really would. But we'll wait and see. But personally, I think it should go to Thomas Souček. I think say what you want about him as a footballer, and he is no Kevin De Bruyne. But he is committed, determined. He will put his head where other people fear to put his head, and he'll spill blood for the cause. Like I say, is he a big Czech lamppost? Yes, but he's our big Czech lamppost. So, score prediction, I think City take this one. In fact, I'd be amazed if they didn't. And I suspect that it will probably be, I wouldn't say easy, but comfortable. Comfortable, but they have to work for it. That's what I'm looking for. So I'm going to go Manchester City 3, West Ham United 1. Hopefully, as I say, if my team is the one that's selected, and I don't suspect it will be, hopefully, Ollie Scholes gets on the pitch, starts the game, and grabs his opportunity. I really do hope that's the case. But anyway, you've got the comment section. So on any of these points that I've raised, if you think that what I'm saying is completely wrong, nonsense, whatever, you got a comment section. Get stuck into it and tell me what you think. Tell me your argument. Give me your perspective. And you never know. You might convince me. You might make me go, okay, yeah, I didn't think about it like that. You've got a point. Who knows? But anyway, for those of you, like I say, that are making the journey, good luck to you. Hope it all goes well. If you're staying at home and, well, obviously you can't watch it legally, can you? So, if you're in the south of France, you can at 3 o'clock. But obviously, if you're in the UK and it's a 3 o'clock kickoff, you won't be watching it, will you? Anyway, please, as I say, don't forget to click subscribe and hit the bell if you are new around here. And don't forget to hit the thumbs up so that the old YouTube algorithms get moving in the right direction. These things that you can do help the channel out. They're free of charge to you. They take you a couple of seconds of time. So there's absolutely nothing to not like. So that would be great. Please also don't forget to give your support to the Iron Supporting Food Banks charity. Come on, you Irons. And I'll see you next time.
Iron Supporting Food Banks collects food and cash donations for needy families in Newham Borough and beyond. Please consider making a donation via their Just Giving page, the link for which you will find in the description section of this stream. Come on, you Irons.